I want us to try something on today. I want you to look at the person next to you. Are you looking at them? Look at them. Try not to be creepy, but look at them. Look at them. See what you can sense. See what you can see. If the eyes really are the gateways to the soul, what do you see? What do you sense? What do you see in them? Possibly it's nothing. Possibly. But at the end of this conversation, I do believe we'll know a little bit more about the person that we're sitting next to. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the privilege of telling you about the person that you're sitting next to. You see, the person that you're sitting next to today, they have dreams. They have goals. They have things within themselves that they want to do and things that they want to accomplish. They have something in them that they see, and every time they try to get to it, it seems like something gets in their way. They have something that they want to become. They have someone that they want to become. Maybe they want to start businesses. Maybe they want to run for office. No matter what they want to do, we all have this thing that we are not right now that we do want to become. The question then is, how do we become that which we see on the inside of us? Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I think it was about 5 years ago, I went to Mexico with Dr. Alan Kemper. We went for the first time, and we were taking a class in social entrepreneurship, and I had been doing some research on social entrepreneurship for 2 years because I wanted to see the way entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship that is, and government interacted together. So this class was an opportunity to be able to see that, to be able to see that in an international setting. I was excited about going, but I was also nervous about going. Now, let me tell you why I was nervous about going. Because you hear these stories of these people who go to these foreign countries and they wind up being there for extended periods of time. I didn't need to be there for an extended period of time. My father is somewhere in this building, and I'm from Conyers, Georgia. My father basically says that the gateway to heaven is through Conyers, Georgia. So I didn't need to really go anywhere. I was winning. But I went there, and I was there for 1 day, then I was there for 2 days, and I was there for 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and I was enjoying myself. I was eating tacos. Who does not love tacos? So I'm there 9 days, and I'm eating more tacos and more. And then at the end of it, I get around to the 11th day, and it was a 12-day trip, and I'm there. And on that 11th day, I get a conversation and have one with this man named by the name of Dr. Tom Basile. Dr. Tom Basile tells me about this venture that he's doing. And the venture would allow him to give loans to people who normally wouldn't be able to receive these type of loans, these small loans. And it would give them the opportunity to get these loans, start businesses, or enhance businesses. But it would also make community and faith impact. We're in a white truck at that time when he's telling me about it. I get out of the white truck. I lean on the truck in front of me. Dr. Alan Kemper comes around and he says this, that is the same look that I had on my face before I went to Spain for 2 years. A few years later, I pack up and I moved to Mexico. All the dreams of this not happening went down the tube. I go to Mexico, and in the first year that I'm in Mexico, I'm working in villages, and I'm building 6 cisterns, and I'm working with new business people that want to start businesses. We're giving out water filters, and I'm living this extraordinary experience out in life. I'm making an impact. I'm doing things that I've never done before. I am becoming something that I have never been before. But then I look over to who I was before I left, and I look at who I am becoming now, and I say within myself, I am becoming something that I have never been before. So that's year 1. Year 2 comes around, and I want to continue my education. So by this time, I applied to this university that was one of the premier universities in Latin America. Now, I don't know what faith that I had to send in an application because, you know, you have summa cum laude and magna cum laude. I had cum laude, come get me out of this school. So But I applied to the university, and I don't know who messed up with the applications, but I get accepted. So I get accepted into the university. I'm in the university, and now I was at one time consulting for smaller businesses. Now these businesses have $1 million and $2 and $3 million marketing contracts, and I'm enjoying this, and I'm doing things within the university, and I'm interacting with businesses large and small, and I'm interacting on a whole nother different level than I've ever done before. And I look back at who I was, and I realize something. I am becoming something that I've never been before. Okay, that was year one. Year one, I moved to Mexico. I started interacting in villages, and I started having interactions I've never had before. Year two, I'm in Mexico, and now I'm speaking more Spanish than I've ever spoke before. Who moves to Mexico and doesn't know any Spanish, by the way? That was me. So I moved there, and I'm talking, and I'm not just ordering tacos. I'm doing other things, and in that process, I must not be ordering too many, because when I went, I was about 400 pounds. And then I lost about 130 pounds. I ate some bread or two last week, so that may be a little bit more, but that's fine. And I'm looking back now, I'm 100 pounds smaller. I'm working with businesses that I've never worked before. I'm doing all these things I've never done before, and I look back to who I was, and I say to myself, I am becoming something that I have never been before. So now I'm in year three. And year three, I get this opportunity to sing opera, and I get opportunity to sing with the chorus. So I get this opportunity. I'm singing in different parts of Latin America, and I'm singing all throughout Mexico, and I'm doing plays, and I'm singing opera. I meet this amazing girl who I'm going to marry in November, and that's within itself. Somebody told me, they said, if you don't know God, by the time you get married, you'll know him at the end. I don't think she's great, so she's really phenomenal. But so at the end of all that, I'm doing this, and I'm singing opera, and I'm performing for thousands of people, sometimes on a nightly basis, and I look back to who I was, and I realize something. I am becoming something that I have never been before. Year three, I'm singing opera, and I'm performing in front of thousands of people. Year two, I'm working with businesses with $1, $2, $3 million marketing contracts. Year one, I'm moving to Mexico. I'm bilingual. I'm doing all these things, and I'm looking back at who I was. Now, let me explain to you who I was then. Because here I was, fresh from graduating from Point University. I had accepted an internship. But what people did not know at that time is that from graduating, I could not find a job. And I found myself sleeping on a floor inside of an extended stay hotel. It wasn't my hotel, so I had to borrow a floor. I'm walking to my internship for the government, for the local county government. And what they do not know is that as I'm walking to my internship every single day, because I don't have a car, at the bottom of my shoes, there are holes. My feet would bleed as I would walk there faithfully, rain, sleet, or snow, every single day. Committing to something, to do something that I don't know where this is carrying me to, but I feel like there's something in me, and I don't really understand what I'm doing and why I'm committing to it, but I'm realizing at the end, I'm one thing, but there is something else in me. I am becoming something that I have never been before. That's the beauty. But no matter what you saw in your neighbor when you looked at them, they have the ability to become something that they have never been before. We all have this transformative nature on the inside of us. But it takes a few aspects. So let me take you through mine. I think there's three. The first is separation. First thing I did was I left this part and I actually went to a totally different country. Now your separation may not look like mine. It may be from a job, from an environment, from a surrounding, from an old position. But separation is crucial in the process of becoming. The second thing is persistence. I love the way President Calvin Coolidge puts it. He said, persistence, nothing shall take the place of persistence. Persistence is needed in order to become that, because in the process of becoming, you'll have difficult days, you'll have difficult moments, and you'll have difficult experiences. There were days when I was learning Spanish, and I'd talk like a baby, and I'd be so embarrassed. There were so many times that the reason that I got the scholarship to sing was because I actually had to drop out of school because I no longer had money to pay for it. Becoming something takes persistence, because you have to be able to persist, because a part of becoming is the process. But the process comes to make you and mold you into the person that you are becoming. So you separate, you persist. But there's one last part, and I believe it is the most difficult part. And that last part is acceptance. It's you accepting that where you are now, you are no longer who you have been, and giving yourself full permission to change your mind. You see, because if you don't change your mind, I've learned that you can lose 100 pounds and gain 20 back, and lose 130. Because if you don't change your mind, and you haven't accepted who you are, you won't be able to fully accept who you have become. Because the process of transformation, the process of becoming looks like this. You really don't know you have become until you become. You really don't know what's happening into your life until you look back and say, I don't look like that anymore. And you give yourself full permission to become who you are becoming. Acceptance. But acceptance is a two-part. It's giving yourself permission to become who you are becoming. But the second part is accepting that you will fail in the process. And accepting that failure is not a final determination nor destination. Failure is an opportunity to grow into the realm of impossibilities. Look at your neighbor again. What do you see? Please don't be creepy. But look at them. What do you see? What you should see now is a person that has dreams, potential. But it's not just about your dreams and your potential. Because that which you see yourself becoming, you may not become that. But if you're willing to separate from who you are, if you're willing to persist in the direction that you're going, and if you're willing to accept who you are becoming, that person who is sitting next to you, they may not become the person in their head, because what they may become is something that they've never been before. Thank you so much.